Okay, round two. This was saltwater baitfish. This was, there's 2 or 3 things about this, and I want to go over some stuff because we are really, really struggling doing these things. And we all come from different backgrounds and how we did things, and but a lot of us were competed. Jeremy skier and Chris and Johnny he just critiques me constantly. And so, but a couple things that I did in my history, and one was I was a competitive taxidermist. And when you go to world shows and national and international shows of these things, they have criterias. And I'm quite certain that in Europe they do a lot of these shows where it's really, really, and they take it really serious. And so in the taxidermy world, we had things like fatal flaws. Frank Newmeyer, one of the greatest bird taxidermist that ever lived. I mean, they have to make divisions because he had never quit swinging. And one time I had this bird, and it was this little bufflehead, and he's sitting on a rock in repose, just basically tucked all in and comfy. And Frank, who I knew, and he says, that looks like that bird's tail hurts, and you're out. And he kicked my ass out of the competition. Not out, it was a fatal flaw. He just said it was too steep. And so we're going through these things, and then you judge on point sets of 4. And so you know, possible 4 being the best, right? And so if your paint's perfect, your eye set's perfect, your fin sets are perfect, you know, and then you've got just appeal, just general appeal to the fly. In that case, it was a fish or whatever. And so we aren't really doing that, but we kind of are. Jeremy was a skier, and he said, you know, if you fell down, you're out, right? And stuff like that. I had a guy's eye fall off when I was taking it out of the box, set it down, the eye fell out. That's a fatal flaw. You know, your eyes can't fall off and stuff like that. You know, and they got to get shipped, and that's just part of it. It's just, but we're going to come up with a new way I had a lot of people send me about Slovenian World Championships going on right now. And I'm going to study theirs, and we're going to kind of go through this a little bit more, so we have a little bit better rule system. Not really rule, but, and so kind of, just so you know how we do this, when I go through these, and all the guys go through them, we look for just overall this, like you look at it, you go, oh my God, that thing's perfect, right? It's like, oh, that thing's gorgeous. But then you got to have something, because I mean, this one was really, we're sitting here, we sat here for almost 2 hours, sitting here. I was here Sunday for 2 hours. I just kept looking at these things going, man, how do you decide one from the other? So you know, you go through and you just start counting thread wraps and looking for fatal flaws, things that they're so good, you've got to find something, right? And so maybe you got some glue on the eye on one side, you got a fingerprint, you know, one of your feathers. Ironically, there's 4 flies in the youth division, 2 of which would have probably won the overall, and which is going to cause me great financial stress because I'm going to have to do something different. These things are unreal, and these kids are all frightening, right? But like when you got a set of wings and one's this long and one's this long, and they're not matching, and it may seem just like nitpicky, but when there's 40 flies sitting here and you've got to figure out which one's going to be, we end up just pulling our hair out. You know, Jeremy's pissed because Johnny didn't like this one. I don't like any of their decisions, and I'm supposed to be the boss, and I'm getting overrode. It's like, man, this isn't working. And so we kind of all come together and look at it and say, okay, this one's got, you know, this set's wrong and this one's wrong. And just so you know kind of how we do it, we don't just go through and we pull them out of the box, we number the box, and put the box aside. And so we try not to know who's in the categories, who's flies who's, and so we just move forward. And then we just got to go with appeal. So onward and forward and all this stuff. And so I had and just for an example, there was one fly in the saltwater division. It was this big, and it had no complexity to it whatsoever, but it was frighteningly perfect. I mean, it was really, really clean. but it just had no complexity to it. And so, but I really dug it, you know, and there's a couple of them, and it's happened before. And so we have to have something that creates, you know, a break. And so this one had 3 steps, but it's perfect. And this one has 12 steps, and it's got 2 flaws. But, you know, the complexity comes in there. And so, and then Johnny brought up something about when he goes, I don't think that thing would fish a lick. And we really can't judge that because, hey, we haven't fished it. It may, but it's a fly tying contest. It's not necessarily a fishing contest. So that would enter a whole nother realm. So anyway, that's how, I just want you to understand kind of how we're doing. We're not taking this lightly either. I mean, if it was 4 of my buddies, it'd be one thing, but I don't know hardly, I might know out of 40 of these people, I might know 2 or 3, and casually, you know, usually. And so we broke it down, and we've taken from complexity, layers, your color schemes, how your colors lay together, and then your overall set. But most important, if I look down and see your thread wraps are good or something, or, you know, you've got a wrap over top of something that shouldn't be there, you got glue on your eye pupils, one's one way, one's the other. You know, we have to find something to pick on because it's a competition. So we get to these, and I mean, and it's funny when these things come out of the box and we get them and we start looking at them. Well, we don't really come up. We just set them out, and you know, we just kind of look at them. Yeah, that's cool. And you always say, well, there's a winner. That one wins. And well, that was true on one of them, but the rest of them not came out that way when we start nitpicking. And the other thing is, if you have a broken feather, one of these flies got booted because there was a big chunk of feather missing out of it. It's kind of like a fatal flaw. It's like you can't be there. You can't be missing your feather. You know, pick really good materials. So, onward. Where am I? So I'm going to start with the youth group today, for one reason and one reason only. All right, we need to get. Are we going to do close-ups afterwards? Okay. Had we entered one of these flies, they were all really, really good. And the ages go from, I think the youngest was, I can't remember, I think the youngest was 10 to 15. And had we entered at least 4 of these into the adult group, we would have had 2 of them probably been first and second. Frighteningly good flies, unbelievably good flies. And we had between second and third place, that one was that was a 10-minute deal for me. And because we kind of split across the board on that, and that was a tough one. And so I had to go in and I had to find one thing that nitpicked it, just one thing. And so anyway, number 1 in this category is number 3. Is this fly right here, and I'm pretty certain this fly, had I entered it in the adult category, may have won the overall. It'd have been very close, that's for sure. This is, you know who you are when you see it. This is Jay Pike's fly. He's 14 years old. And this thing on a layering setup, on the tips of the feathers matching, the eye pupil setting, the eye setting, the layers, and the consistency of how, and the thread wraps on every single layer are identical. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Absolutely perfect layered, and from overall appeal, if you look at this fly and how the tapers are, this set layers on this set, layers on this set, layers on this set, layers on this set, absolutely stunning. This fly is spectacular. So that is number 1. Number 2, and we'll put those up, we'll get close-ups of all those. Number 2 is Xavier Mcneill, is this fly right here. This fly, same thing, really nice hollow tie. Everything about it's really cool. You know, it's again, the layers of this and the complexity of it, which is what kicked it up a notch, trying to get every one of these layers, getting the distances between them equal, everything about it. Your layers where these things are layering back exactly where they belong, halfway into the next one. sets are here. It's visually a very pleasing fly, and everybody said the same thing. That thing will hunt. Every one of us said the same thing. That thing will get it done. And so that's number 2.
Who was it?
Huh? Xavier McNeill. And number 3 is Gavin Rueda, I think it is. This number 1. This fly, and you know, in competition taxidermy, you get extra points for things. And this fly was a really close, you know, second, third. And so when you look at this fly, there's a couple of things that you can't see. And one of them was that he made his own eyes. And I mean that, and there's, in competition taxidermy, fish taxidermy, what I do is, if you don't make your own eyes, if you don't paint them all and do them yourself, you're kind of not in the league, right? So I mean, even though we've got phenomenal glass eyes, so he made his own eye. And then the other thing I want you to see about this, which a couple of the adults didn't do, each feather on the top is exactly the same length. Go to the tail, boom, identical match. Absolutely paying attention. This is a paying attention fly. There was very little I mean, and the only thing that this was really close, you know, it's just the complexity. And when we go through, we look at things, and we just we were nitpicking. It was so hard. And so because of that, ouch, I'm going to do the first place, because his was so incredible. I'm jumping his to, that one's going to go to 150, and then we're going to give the $50, everybody gets the $25 one. And so these two, I'm going to go jump to 100. They're spectacular. And just because we really had a hard time, we had a very hard time deciding all the way around. First, it was pretty quick. Second and third was really, really, really hard to get us. We couldn't break it. We just kept going. And it was almost, you know, how do we do it? So, absolutely, all these, every one of these. I mean, this little tiny thing, that's an 11-year-old kid did this thing. I forget the brothers, it's 13, 11. Every one of these things is so clean, it's unbelievable. And including these two brothers here that sent theirs in last time, it looks like they've got better even since the first time they came in. I mean, a lot better. And they're really clean. Everything on here, not one of these flies, this one was really in the hunt too, a lot. Absolutely stunning. I mean, that's why we did the youth first. It was really, 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 really tough. And I mean, just so impressive to see that. I mean, when that one came out, the winner, the first thing I said was, wow. I mean, I don't think I could do that. I mean, you'd have to spend a lot of time to make them that perfect. So, onward to the adult beverage time.
You know, I never thought they do.
It's my birthday. I can drink on TV for my birthday. I'm almost 40 now. And so, what? So
they have tiny hands. They can see better than us. That's why they're so.
Is that why they can see better? Well, anybody can see better than me. Anybody can see better than me. So, the adult one. This was kind of a hands down first place. Let me get in here, and thank you for telling me how phonetically setting out your name so I could pronounce it, because I would have killed it. This first place is number 12, Jason Klase, as I believe. When you read it, it was Kloess or Kloess. The layers on this fly, I wish I could hold it, and when it got in here, when it came in, everything was perfect. We kind of mulled it over a little bit. And so all the feathers, every single feather on this fly is absolutely perfect. We went through every one of the stacks. It's a synthetic kind of game changer. Everything, there's 3 sets to this tail, and they're perfect. And I mean, when it came out of the box, it was just absolutely layered out perfect. The head work was incredible, perfect. He's got a perfect head on this thing. It's finished perfectly. The eye sets were dead on. They're right over top of each other. The pupils are in the same spot forward. The pectoral fins were absolutely perfect on each side. When you go back, they're the same length. Same with this tail. Everything on it. And the really kicker for me was when you looked down at how the profile not only horizontally came down to a beautiful point, but with me, when I looked down it this way, it came to this perfect taper. And it was just, that doesn't happen by mistake. That is by really calculating how much material is going on each one of those stacks, looking it over, and you can see there wasn't hardly, if there's trimming on it, I didn't see it. It was, this is leaving the tips where they belong, not going through and chopping and making everything rough, and you would see it. But and then the pen work on it was really good, absolutely stunning. Number 2, number 4 was 14. Where'd you go? This fly when it came out. Down goes Frasier. This fly when it came out of the box was so simple, and this is what I meant by it. There's complexity, layers, and all that. And this one was so simple. This is Steve Parish's fly. This is second place. This fly's got layered, it's a flat wing layer, right? And we could find one small thing on it, the difference of a tip of feather, but it was so simple, yet it was so perfectly laid out that, and everything was so clean. The head work on it was incredible. The eye, the glue work, and some of the flies that were really in a, maybe a little more complex, and there's a little bit of glue on one eye and not the other one. And so it's, it's a mistake. And this one just had nothing. The layers were incredible. You get down the delta, and that's going to come down, the wing on the back is going to come together. Everything layered out perfect. Had just the right amount of flashaboo for our eye. And like Jeremy said, this is a total original. This thing is like really cool. The layers of the pheasant on the back, there's a double layer on the back to create this just the head. And so, and just enough of another of this just synthetic over the top and a layering of marabou. This thing, and this when it came out, this is one of the ones when it came out of the box, we were like, woo, that's thinking. And we had several flatwingers like that were kind of layered and really pretty, really, I mean, really done well. And then the third place, where is it? Number 1, this was Aeric Reiber, I think is how you say your name, I believe. And so this one's really clean too. And this was a close call between third and second on this one. And the only thing, this is the layers are incredible. The headwork is the best of the whole place. This was just absolutely stunning how well he did this head. His layers were really good. And I had one thing I had to, nitpick, and it was just the head length on it between the joints. And so, but it was, and a couple feathers weren't quite, but this is so hard. That's why I said we have to go through it. But this, as complexity goes, this thing is, pretty complex. The layers are really nice. Everything's good. Overall value of the thing's great. This was another one that we went, ooh, that'll hunt. This is a real hunting fly. And so that was third place, stellar. The thing was just, it's absolutely gorgeous. But so how we go on this is the first prize. Now, Jason, I'm quite certain Jason won, and he wants to donate his stuff to TU. So we'll see how we do that. And so first prize on this one is the Echo Salt. Which one did we?
Prime.
Is it the Prime?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Echo Prime. And the fly line, the airflow, whatever saltwater line that would go with it. So that would be for Jason. Steve, he's a whiting silver cape and a $1.50 credit gift certificate. And then Eric's is his third place is a MFC box or a guideline pair of guideline sunglasses. Which grab me a pair of those so we can show them. I don't know if we've got, I don't know what I did with the box. But they're right underneath this, right here. Underneath there. So we got the guidelines, and then everybody gets a pair of grapplers and, the glass retainers and some high and dry. So these are the guidelines. These are great glasses. I don't know if you've used them or not, but really nice glasses. And so he gets the, what did I do? Third place plus a $75 gift certificate. So next one is what's next? Caddis? I forgot. Dry.
I don't know.
I forgot.
You should probably know these things too.
Yes, I forgot which one's which. So they're due. The next one's due the 15th. It's that number 3 on the box.
3.
Yeah.
Youth, adult, dry.
Dry. Yeah, the next one's the dry fly. It's the Mayfly adult. We've already got, and for all you adults that aren't counting your thread wraps, I've already seen 3 kids flies that are so freaky good. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's got to be their eyes. It's got to be that. I don't know what it is. I mean, there's 3 in there that are, and I'm really contemplating. I don't know. I can't really change the rules mid stride here, but I almost was just going to put them in the adults, but I can't do that because I entered as a youth. And so, but we've got some adult flies. We've got 2 European flies that are really knockouts. It's going to be really fun. We don't have a ton of them in yet on the dry fly. We've got a lot less than you'd think. I mean, probably less than 2 dozen. So it's going to be really cool once they start rolling in. They come in on the 15th. That's the due date. They have to be here. And once they're in, on the 15th, if we don't get them that day, everything's over. So, and then we judge depending on what day that roll. 15th was Friday, so we didn't do it. We had to have a day to judge, and so we'll do them as quick after that as we can, and we'll announce it. So, I hope you liked it. It's been a blast. Keep them coming. It's been a really fun thing. Congratulations, especially to the kids, man. Whew, unbelievable. All of our adult ones who were allowed. I mean, we had a hard time. It took us over an hour to cull from 20 to 10 and another 30 minutes to get from 10 to 5. And so there was a lot of really, as you can see, there's a lot of really good stuff on here. So, hope you liked it. And thanks for joining.
Bye, world.
See if there's a
Bye,
way to
world.
save this.
We're back?
We're back.
Did we go dead? Were we alive that whole time?
Yeah, we were still alive.
Good.
People always it. Fuck it.
What did you say?
I said bad words. I'm sorry, world.
So, we forgot, and we are having problems with it. One of you techie freaks out there could probably help us. We're having trouble with this people's choice. So what we need you to do is simply call or email us. Just email your favorite flies. You can go backwards in time too. And by the way, we're going to have a most creative fly division, which people are sending them just for fun. Last year's winner sent one in. It's pretty wild. And so, and then I'm going to go through some of the late entries. If there was anything late, we had one frighteningly good mouse, or almost rat pattern. And we're going to have another choice. We're going to have a most unique fly. We'll do that one at the very last one. Even if it might be in here, it might not be, it might win, you might be in last place and still win this most unique. There was one that was really cool in the frog, the fornicating frog. That was pretty cool. And so, but we've got a bunch of really cool ones. But on the people's choice, we're going to roll through this and you'll be able to see the numbers, and we'll just email us your favorite one. And then that one's going to be at the very end. We'll announce that. We're going to do it in every category, and then we're going to do it at the final. And if we don't get enough because we screwed it up on the first one, we were trying to do a better, worse, but we couldn't do all of them at once. We had to have 2 flies. And so if you want to go back and watch the first one and see what your favorite topwater was, people's choice, and we've got the numbers right here. They'll correspond with when you look at the fly, they'll correspond with the fly, and just decide which one. We're going to do a close-up in a second here and decide which, and it doesn't have to be a winner. It does not have to be one of the flies that won. It simply is your favorite fly. Like I told you in the beginning, when we do the judging at the World Show, the taxidermy stuff and the big shows, there's always a people's choice. It's the most coveted thing there. It means you did your job well. Everybody likes what you did. So on that, we're going to stop and do the close-ups, and you can see them. And I don't know if are you going to do it live with the close-up?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, why don't we?
Pull it up there.
So we'll do it right now, and so everybody can see it.